It's easy to respect the other person when you're fine, when you're happy, when you were with energy, when you were controlled. It's hard to be respectful, to control our instincts when we are tired, when we're nervous, when we are under these negative conditions. It's a little bit harder to control ourselves, but these are the most important moments when we really need to calm down, to see the situation from a broader perspective. Hello, my friend! Welcome back. Today we talk about respecting other people's opinions. Today we talk about how to appreciate the other person's words. And it's simple to say, but hard to put into practice. You know, we're going to see here strategies to help you communicate better, to help you understand the other person's point of view. And I will read part of a book to you, this one here, that talks about our ego, because sometimes we don't want to listen. Sometimes we're nervous. We think we have the reason, and we don't even want to hear the other person. What is right is right. I'm with the reason. That person made a mistake. I will not hear that person. These sentences are not constructive. We must be patient if we want to evolve, if we want to really understand the other person's point of view. We have to be humble. Page 62 of this book I highlighted to read to you. A real learner is like a sponge, absorbs what happens around him, filters, and holds in what he can keep. A learner is self-critic, self-motivated. A real learner is always trying to sharpen his understanding so he can go to the next topic, to the next challenge. A true learner is also his own professor, his own critic. There is no space for ego. Page 76. Open the way for the ones who are ahead of you, and then you end up opening your own way. When you are starting, you can be sure of some fundamental facts. 1. You are not by far as good or as important as you imagine. 2. You have an attitude that must be adjusted. 3. Most part of what you believe, you know, or that you have learned on the books or at the university is out of context or wrong. Look for opportunities to the other person, not you. Try to improve things. instead of trying to look the best. Greatness comes from humble origins. Greatness comes from the work that is considered bad. It means that you are the least important person in the room until you change it with results. Speak a little, do a lot. Now let's stretch. Relax, my dear. Let's stretch. I know it's hard to listen. Mainly when you have the reason. Mainly when the other person has made a lot of mistakes. I know. I have faced this in my life. But today we're going to learn how to do it properly. With good expressions in English. Here we go. Release your arms. Now we're going to stretch to the front. Let's go. Stretch, stretch. And let's count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Now, this. You count for us to 10, please. 1, 2, you count. All right. The other arm, you count for us, please. Start. 1. All right. Let's breathe. Once more, before you sleep. All right, let's go. Isolate noise and interruptions, please. Close the door, close the window, and now, you see, I have a lot of notifications here. I'm gonna leave my cell phone on flight mode so I won't be interrupted during our class. I'll be 100% focused in your class so you can learn better. If you can do it too, excellent. Isolate noise, isolate distractions. I promise you this class will be nice and useful to you. Here we go. Are you prepared? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friend. Let's start studying expressions to give feedback when people are talking to you. You tell me, Felipe, I am studying English every day. I tell you, wow, that's great. And then you tell me, yeah, and I am talking to my family in English. I answer, that's amazing. It's so good to see you speaking English. You tell me, yeah, now I can communicate in English, I can use English at work, and I tell you, at work, that's fantastic. Congratulations. These are ways to give feedback, to show that I'm listening, to show that I'm interested. When you were telling me positive things, when I like what you were telling me. The challenge, my friend, is to keep the communication respectfully when you disagree, when the person is telling you something that you don't like. That's the challenge. You tell me, Felipe, English is not important. I listen to you and say, oh, why do you think English is not important? And you tell me, because English is useless. I'm not going to study English. I tell them, oh, okay. And have you tried to follow a methodology? And you tell me, no, but I think English is so difficult. I prefer Portuguese. I tell you, Portuguese? Yeah, I had the same feeling when I was in New Zealand 10 years ago. I was there. I couldn't speak English. I couldn't understand anything. And people were talking in English around me. And I was thinking to myself, my goodness, I love Portuguese. I love my language. Why do I have to study English? But I started to see opportunities with English. You have a lot of opportunities with English, my friend. And then you can tell me, maybe. And if you tell me this, I am encouraged to show you the benefits of English. Because now you are not blocking the communication. You are not saying, no, I don't want it, this is not good. You are saying, well, maybe. So you are giving me the opportunity to keep talking. We have a leadership class that talks about this topic of respecting other people's opinions. Watch that. 3, 2, 1. How do you respond? How do you react when you receive aggressiveness? When the other person raises the stakes of the dialogue by becoming emotional, don't let that influence your behavior. By becoming angry, the other party is implying that his or her feelings are more important than yours simply because he or she is speaking loudly or being sarcastic or even bursting into tears. Don't let that behavior diminish your own importance or elevate that of the other person. Don't respond with aggressiveness of your own. You see? Respecting other people is not optional, in my opinion. In my opinion, respecting other people is an obligation. And we start doing that when we respect ourselves. Yeah, you might think I am talking crazy things, respecting myself. How come? Yeah, you can respect yourself by eating properly, by eating healthy food. You can respect yourself by going to bed early. You can respect yourself by exercising, by taking care of your body and your mind. And these English classes help you a lot with your mind, with your motivation. And then, when I respect myself, I start it's easier to respect others. And one nice thing to think is, how do I like to be treated? This is a good guide for my attitude. I will treat others the way I like to be treated. Do you understand? I love to see your progress. Here we go. Now I'm going to show you some words, some expressions to use when you are talking to someone to show that you respect this person's opinions. 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friend. Let's see now expressions you use when you are talking to someone to show that you respect this person's opinion. The first strategy. Today we're going to study the vocabulary and the conversation strategies to show you respect and you understand the other person's opinions. The first and the most used is to repeat part of what the person is telling you. For example, you come to me and say, you know, Felipe, I use drugs every day. And then, of course, I want to run away from this conversation, but I need to be respectful. So I say, oh, you use drugs every day? Inside my mind, I am thinking, how can I convince this person to quit drugs? How can I convince this person to stop smoking? How can I convince this person to stop drinking alcoholic beverages? If I run away or if I am aggressive with you, I can't help you. I just leave the conversation. I don't want this to happen. I want to make a positive change in our lives, because when your life is better, my life is better. When I am happier, you are happier too. Of course, I'm bringing an extreme example, but it can be anything. For example, I tell you, São Paulo is the best soccer team of the planet. I'm sure of it. There is no debate about it. How do you respond? You say, São Paulo? You repeat part of my information. This is the most used conversation strategy. I tell you, where are you from? You tell me, I'm from Brazil. I say, Brazil? Oh, me too. I am studying English. You tell me, English? That's nice. I am studying English too. You repeat part of my information. This is the most used. After this, we have other expressions. Useful expressions. I was going to write in red, but red indicates something blocked, something negative. So I'm going to write in green. And you tell me if you can see the green clearly, okay? Useful expressions. Right. I know. That's a good point. Got you. How do we put these expressions in context? We're talking. You and I. You tell me, Dib, come on, Corinthians is the best. I tell you, really? You tell me, yeah. São Paulo is so bad. I tell you, right. But why do you have this opinion? You tell me, because São Paulo has lost all the games. I have to accept. This is true. And this is another thing. Man, some things are true. They're not opinions, they are facts. When someone is sharing a fact with us, we have the obligation to respect, because a fact is a fact, period. When the other person is sharing an opinion, we can debate respectfully, but we can debate, we can try to convince, to show another point of view. Okay? Because São Paulo has lost all the games. What do I tell you? I know. You were right. But I have faith. And then we keep talking. Another topic. I come to you and say, I, you, I, you, I, you. I tell you, why don't you train with me? You tell me. Maybe. You are not sure. And I tell you, tomorrow morning, 5:40 a.m. and you tell me, really? That's impossible. Here, you were telling me something that I disagree. Because I wake up at 5:40. I go to the gym in the morning. So this is possible. But you were telling me tomorrow morning at 5:40. Really? That's impossible. I tell you, that's a good point. Why is it impossible? You tell me. Because I get up at 7. Then I tell you, got you. I understand you. Now I understand why this is impossible to you. But if you take the word impossible, impossible, you just add an apostrophe to this, and you have I'm possible. With this, I invite you to watch a video. 3, 2, 1. Ask and ye shall receive. Knock and the door will open. If you ask as if you want and knock as if you want to enter, you may be offered the chance to improve your life. A little, a lot, completely. And with that improvement, some progress will be made in being itself. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. Tell me one thing that you have improved. Comment here about your improvement. Yes. Remember that to communicate respectfully, you need to be tolerant. You need to understand that there are 7.5 billion people around the globe, and each one of us have different opinions. We need to respect people's opinions. We need to have in mind that our opinions are not the fundamental truths. No, they are opinions. And when you listen to different points of view, you evolve your own point of view. When you tell me your opinions, I see different things. I discover new things. Do you agree with me? Comment here. If you disagree, no problem. We're going to communicate. I want to understand your point of view. 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friend. It's easy to respect the other person when you're fine, when you're happy, when you were with energy, when you were controlled. It's hard to be respectful, to control our instincts when we are tired, when we are nervous, when we are under these negative conditions. It's a little bit harder to control ourselves, but these are the most important moments when we really need to calm down, to see the situation from a broader perspective. I remember once we were here. I was here at the farm, and we had this guy who worked here. His nickname was German, Alemão. And German, Alemão, worked here, and we hired a second guy to help him, to assist him. And he didn't get along with this guy. And this guy insulted him. So he was very unhappy. And I came to talk to him. And we started to talk, and he said, I want to get a promotion. I want a higher salary. I said, okay, what are you thinking? And he told me, I want to double. I want you to pay me double. I listened to that, and I asked him, okay, German, but are you going to deliver? Are you going to work the double? Can you give the double? And he said, no, I can't, but I want to receive more. And if you don't give me more, and he started to raise the voice, and the situation started to be tense. And he started to talk and to get nervous. And this is one frequent attitude. The person starts to talk and get more and more nervous. And then the person raises the voice and the situation gets more tense. The person gets more nervous. And thank God, it was God's inspiration. I could see the situation, the danger of the situation, because these guys, they carry a knife here on their backs. And he was with a knife this size here. And I said, Alemão, we're getting nervous. Let's just stop this conversation for a while. We can talk about it later, another day. Today we are nervous. If we keep this conversation, I'm going to disrespect you, you are going to disrespect me, and this is not positive. And he stopped for a moment. He was a bit lost and said, oh, okay. And thank God we interrupted that conflict. These are the things we must do our best to implement in our lives. If we are in the middle of a fight, of a conflict, we must step back. Being respectful, being calm when everything is good, that's easy, my dear. The challenge is to be controlled when things get bad, when there is turbulence. But I know you can control yourself. I know you were a much better person than yesterday, and you were improving your skills. 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friend. Yes, I love to see you here. We're finishing one more class, and this class is very, very, very useful. At the beginning of this class, I promised you this class would be useful. And now I reinforce the importance of respecting the other person. It's easy to respect when the other person is polite, when the other person is soft, when the other person is a friend, when the other person is a relative. The challenge is to respect the other person when that guy or when that woman is being rude. The challenge is to respect people that you don't like. The challenge is to respect people who are different from you, who have different opinions. And in these moments, you are going to show me if you can or if you cannot respect other people. And to do that, my friend, listen. Listen more. Listen to understand. Try to see what is behind the words of that person. Try to read this person's body language. Try to read this person's intonation. Okay? You can use the strategies that we talked about during this class. You can repeat information. You can use those sentences to show that you understand the person's point of view. All right? I ask you now, what's the most difficult thing to do when you were nervous? How often do you have arguments? Comment your answers here. I am here to serve you, my friend. Thank you very much. I am Felipe Dib. See you next class.